Audita Tremendi, the Third Crusade. A decade after Amalric's death was a bad one for the Crusader states. Amalric's heir, Baldwin IV, was a leopard and childless, leading to the squabbles over the inevitable regency, which came to a head after Baldwin's death in 1185. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Emperor Manuel I suffered a devastating defeat at Myrokifolon in 1176, ending the empire's resurgence and closing off any hope of help from the north. After Nur ad-Din's death, Saladin came to power in Egypt. He had managed to take most of the southern and eastern territories of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, but his direct attacks were beaten off in 1177 and 1179. So he spent most of the following years consolidating his power, gradually extending his rule over Damascus, Aleppo, and Mosul, forming the realm known as the Sultanate of the Ayyubids. By 1187, his work was complete. He had a truce with the Franks, which he scrupulously held, so they would have to wait, or so he thought. However, the squabble over the succession of Jerusalem had come to a head with Guy of Lusignan as a current, if not particularly secure regent. He was incapable of firmly controlling the barons, so the perennial loose cannon Renaud of Chatillon was unhindered when he plundered an Ayyubid caravan traveling under flag of truce. Saladin needed no further excuse. Alright, this is a 6-turn scenario, and we have the forces all deployed. This is going to be a good one. Now, the thing of it is, this is what the movie Kingdom of Heaven was all about. It took, this is D, A, B, C. This is our 4th scenario, so it took 4 scenarios to get to this point. But this one is a nice scenario, and of course, it introduces us to Saladin with his 12 command rating, and he's got the units too. We also got a victory condition in which, let's see here. Christian player will start with 18 victory points. He gets a victory if he gets 19 victory points plus. So anything over 19 gives him his victory. Wow, that's not much. I'll have to look that up again. Alright, our Muslim player starts with 14 victory points. He needs 25 victory points plus to win. Anything over 25. So 19. They only need, the Christian player only needs 1 victory point. Alright. The Muslim player, this is key, needs 19 plus victory points by the turn 4, or the game ends with a Christian auto victory. If he does get 19 plus victory points, the Crusade arrives. And that entails those couple stacks of units sitting there on turn 4. And I believe Barbarossa comes in at Constantinople, and Philip and his group will come via the Mediterranean. So that's it. We will look at victory spots here. You can see where old Guy is in Jerusalem. I think if any of you guys remember the movie, you remember whoever played Guy. It was pretty good. That movie had more history in it than I thought. I thought it was a Hollywood version, but it really did real good. Okay, you got Al-Adil in Cairo. They got their, let's see if we can pronounce this right. The A, The Ayyubids. The Ayyubids. That's what I'll be calling them, the Ayyubids. Or the Ayyubids. Ayyubids. Alright, well, Guy's there in Jerusalem. He's got a few units, not many. Raymond. He's in Barius. We got some more Jerusalem troops in Acre. Other than that, there's not much going on. I do believe these Hospitallers could probably get a +1 on their resistance factor. That's what that means on those castles there. We also got an assassin general this time with a couple assassins. So we're looking under the special rules. But there you go. Not much out here. Except old Saladin. And supposedly the raid just happened, so he's ready to move. I'm thinking if you watch the movie, when the raid happened, when he raided that caravan, or supposedly, it was probably Hollywood. Never let the good story get in the way of the truth, like they say. But it was his wife, or one of his daughters, or one of his wives, was in the caravan. And they probably had their way with her or something, or murdered her, who knows. But this is something important up here, too. We have the Sultanate of the Ayyubids. And these are the ones that are neutral. Eastern Armenia. Principality of Cyprus. The Assassins, all neutral. Now there's some of these here they say will never go pro-Muslim. We'll see on the tract here. Let's look into the scenario rules. Make sure we get the right page. Here you go. When we roll into diplomacy. So we'll see what's up. Special rules. After setup, the Christian player may reduce any of his castles to their low garrison side and place one full-strength unit of the same power in any friendly space for every so reduced. Reduction by one has no effect, so I can reduce 2 of my castles to half strength and give me a unit. The Muslim player may then place 4 units in his starting force pool in any friendly space. Slay then proceeds normally. Antioch and Tripoli will never go pro-Muslim unless attacked by the Christian player. Okay. Saladin's clemency. Saladin gets a +1 on all calls to surrender. In addition, put a +1 to his battle rating. Okay, this is key here. The Muslim player gains 1/2 victory for every castle he captures that was controlled by Catholic power at the beginning of the scenario. Those victory points will only be scored once, are never lost, even if the castle is recaptured. The victory points are no longer eligible to be scored beginning on turn 4. There's a lot of stuff, but anyway, or if the Muslim player gains a major victory over a Christian force of at least 4 units. Okay. We'll be coming back to this a lot. Then the Crusade arrives. Turn 4. That tells me where I deploy my units, which I did. Alright, Christian player has 19 more victory points. Christian player starts with 18. Alright, well, my sheet was right. And we are on our way. Now, my last scenario, historically, and I forgot to do this, I'll do this after this one. The Muslim player won, so that pandemic or epidemic outside of Cairo during the siege definitely turned tails in the alternate history. But we got a good game here set up. We are ready to go and eager to play. I got on this one right away. I mean, there's a lot of scenarios in this. I thought when I was done with that, well, maybe only one more, but yeah, they got a whole bunch here. I forgot what the cards are, but I put the special cards for the scenario specific in the deck and took out the old ones. But these will be card number E. Third, oh, wait, wrong one. There we go. Yeah, the Third Crusade. Alright. Let me check out who has the initiative for card play. I've already dumped the cards. And I've got to do the special rules after setup. We'll be right back with some more Kingdom of Heaven on the Kingdom of Heaven channel. We'll be back. Alright, we're looking at the scenario special rules. I don't know if I'm going to reduce anybody to get a unit, but I'm looking at here. And the Muslim player needs 19 victory points by turn 4, and he's starting out at 14. So he needs 5 victory points. I see 3 at Edessa, ungarrisoned, and 3 at Aleppo. So I think the initial fight's going to be for those two right there. He gets those two, he gets his 6. That'll give him 20. He'll have 1 over 19. He'll be able to survive past turn 4, which will bring in the Crusade, but it won't be an auto victory for the Christian player. So that's what I see happening. Unfortunately, he has a higher rating, the highest rating on the board, which means the lower rating person will go first, and it'll be the Christian player. So the Christian player, knowing or seeing the same thing that the Muslim player sees, gets a chance to protect the city or take it, get the victory points. But how do they do that? We're going to have to work out the initial setup with the Christian player. Any friendly space. So, might want to think about doing that around here. Beefing up Antioch, moving on into Aleppo. Although he's got a nice force with him, but we'll see what's up. Strategy's on, game on. We'll be right back. Alright, so here we go. I've changed my mind because of Aleppo and reduced 2 Templar castles. This one here and what other one? Let's look at this Templar Antioch. There might be a Templar right there because I had to put the Templar unit. So these two, this Templar castle here and this Templar castle here are reduced to get that nice strong Templar unit. Templars are definitely tough. Now the thing of it is, when placing these units, I had to do the same thing with the Antioch. I reduced that castle, as you can see in that castle. It got me a nice little Antioch unit. Now I wanted to use the cavalry unit, but you see that yellow dot? That specifically means you can't do what I wanted to do. So yellow dots mean you can't use them for intrinsic garrisons when you flip over castles. So there you go. But that is the Christian player's move. I'll take advantage of that little deployment. Because like I said, Aleppo's going to be key. Now, in response, the 4 units in the Muslim player's force pool, I believe they're Ayyubid cavalry. Kind of like the Fatimid cavalry, or they're now the Seljuk cavalry. Not Seljuk no more. They've changed their names to Ayyubid. So I got 4 Ayyubid units I can place in any friendly space. Wonder which ones that'll be. We'll be right back. Alright, all unlike the Seljuks of old. And this is probably about 100 years. I forgot how many years this was. Let's look over here. 1174. I don't know when Elmer came to power, but there's a difference. From the Seljuks turned into the Ayyubids. We're going to deploy them right now. We'll be right back. Alright, I think the only pertinent place to put the Ayyubids cavalry is right there at Marat and Numan. And it has a Ayyubid stronghold on it. But any move into Aleppo with my 4 cavalry from the Muslim player's turn will trigger an interception, so I can intercept whoever goes in there. Looks like I can take them. But we'll see what goes on, because it all depends on the card play, which we're about to begin. But yeah, there you go. Any move into Aleppo or anywhere around adjacent to my cavalry there will trigger. I guess he could try to go in here, but I got some cavalry up there too, so we're all set for some interceptions. We look at the cards and we're beginning to play on turn number 1. We'll be back. Alright, well, upon further review, it said that after Saladin's death, he consolidated his power in Aleppo and Damascus. I looked back over this setup, and I must have missed that, because it says after Mosul, that in Edessa and Aleppo there are some units there. Damascus and Aleppo both have them, and Edessa. I already had these guys here, and I had this guy here, and I had the force pool, but these 2 escaped me, so that changes everything, because Aleppo and Edessa are now very garrisoned, which helps the Muslim player. Now, I think I'm still going to reduce those castles and put those units there, because, yeah, they need to be fortified with the resistance factor, so I think this will help. So I think I'm still going to do that. Now, however, I still have my 4 units from the force pool to deploy. But there's 1, 2, let me see how many are in Aleppo. 2 in Aleppo and 1 in Edessa. So there's 3 more units on the board than there was before I found a mistake, which makes sense. I thought that was kind of glaring that they'd be ungarrisoned. Then when it started saying in that history or setup that he consolidated his power in Aleppo, I'm like, how's Aleppo empty? So I'm glad I caught that. That would have made a major faux pas to start our scenario with. So still going to figure out what to do with these 4 units. Pretty sure we're going to go here. We'll see what's up. Christian player goes first. Find out where the Muslim player is due. He's been getting, I don't think he's won a scenario yet. He's kind of been getting the bad luck and the luck draws in the alternative history, so we'll see what happens here. But it's on. Muslim players playing with revenge. Be back. Alright, so obviously with the change of things, the 3 victory points there and the 3 victory points there must all count for the Muslim player starting out at 14. So need 19, need 5 victory points. 5 victory points. And yeah, it looks like it's it. Where do we go to get the victory points? Tripoli ungarrisoned, or very lightly garrisoned. Acre. We will be looking. And of course, Jerusalem. Maybe we just march right on down there. Might be the game plan. We'll be back. Quickest way for 5 victory points. Gotta look over the board. Alright then. The Muslim player is placing the Ayyubid 4 cavalry units, all 4 of them in Damascus. There are already 2 units there, so Damascus is beefed up with 6 Ayyubid cavalry units. We are all set to go in this scenario. Let the card play begin. We will call this a video. Come on back and see what happens.